Awesome. So since it got smaller, I know my K value has to be less than 1. Okay, so how do I find K again?
You pick two coordinates from the same size.
Okay, so I'm going to choose 5, 0, and I'm going to choose 2, 0. Okay, and then what?
Then you divide the image over the K.
Awesome. So new over old, image over pre-image, like Emily beautifully said. And then it's going to be 2, 0 over 5, 0. 0.4. Awesome. So 2 over 5 will be 0.4. So K equals 0.4. So it'd be 0.4x, 0.4y. Good job, guys. Look at y'all. Of transformations, the last day of transformations. So today, what's today? Wednesday or Thursday?
Wednesday.
Wait, today's what?
Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday. Okay. So today's Wednesday. So today we'll do the last day of learning something about transformations. And then Friday, we're going to do a review about transformations. Okay. So, and then once we get back from Thanksgiving break, we're learning one more topic. And then we're just reviewing for the quarter test. All right, let's go. All right, so we're still talking about dilation today, but we're talking about how does dilation compare with perimeter and area. So how are they related? So let's gonna look. The paper I gave you should have the same slides as this one. We're gonna look how perimeter and the area relate to K, the scale factor. Okay. So first thing we need to do is find the scale factor of this figure. So is the small square or the big square the pre-image? Sorry, I can't hear you, babe. Yes. So since the big one has the prime notation, the big one is the image, and the small one is the pre-image. So if you're on technology, do me a favor and not be on technology, right? Because we're learning now. Okay. So I know it's getting bigger. So I know my K value is going to be greater than 1 because this is an enlargement. So let's find the scale factor. So which letter do I want to use? Q, R, E, or S? R? Okay, let's do R. So we need to do new over old. So R prime over R. R prime is at what? 5, -5. Okay, so R prime is at 5, -5. And where's R at? 1, -1. So when I do new over old, what's my scale factor? 5. So 5 divided by 1 or -5 divided by -1 equals 5. So K equals 5. Okay, so that's my scale factor. So now let's find the perimeter and area of this square. So I totally realize some of you are like, I don't remember how to do that. That's fine. I'm about to tell you. Okay. So to find perimeter, we just add up all the sides. Okay. So let's do that for the pre-image and let's do that for the image. So the pre-image, each side is 2 units long and wide. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 is what? 8. So the perimeter of the pre-image is 8 units. All right, and then let's find the perimeter of the image. So each side is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 by 10 by 10 by 10 will give me what? 40. So the image is 40 units. So if I did new over old with the perimeter, if I did new over old with the perimeter, so that'd be image over pre-image, that'll be 40 over 8. So what is 40 divided by 8?
5.
5. So there, bam. The perimeter ratio, if I do new over old, is the same as the what? As the scale factor. They're equal. So the perimeter ratio is the same as the scale factor ratio. So let's look now at the area. I'm going to use green, but if you can't see it, let me know. So area, to find area is length times width. So for the pre-image, 2 times 2 would give me 4. So this is 4. And 10 times 10, 100. So I'm just saying 4 units squared, 100 units squared. Area, you always square the units, so that's why I put that. So if I do new over old, same thing, my image area over my pre-image area. 100 over 4. What will 100 over 4 give me? 25. Huh. Well, that's not the same thing as my scale factor. But how does it relate? 5 and 25. Wait. 5 times 5 is 25. So what we need to learn here is that the area ratio is equal to the scale factor squared. Okay, the area ratio equals the scale factor squared. I'll write that out all together. Scale factor squared. And the perimeter ratio equals the scale factor. So those are the same thing. Now, I'll be real. Most people do not remember this after, because I only do it for one day and I only talked about it once. Most people don't remember it, and it may or may not even be on the STAR test, but because it's like if it is, it's only one question, I just want to make sure that we go over it. So basically what we need to realize is that the perimeter ratio equals the scale factor. So the perimeter ratio, what we did, equaled the same scale factor. And the area ratio was the scale factor squared. So 5 squared is 25. 5 times 5 is 25. Let's see if that works on another image. Okay, so let's see if that works on another one that we do. So this one's a rectangle, not a square, it's a rectangle. So let's find the scale factor first. Which one's the pre-image? The what, babe?
The smaller one.
The smaller one. So this is the pre-image. And the image is the big one. So I know it's getting bigger. So I know my K should be greater than 1 because it's an enlargement. All right. So let's find it. What letter y'all want to use? A, B, C, or D? A. A? All right. So we're going to do A prime over A. All right, so A prime is at the X value is -4, 6. Okay, good, ladies. -4, 6. And A is at -2, 3. So when I divide it, -4 divided by -2 or 6 divided by 3 will give me what? 2. So my scale factor equals 2. If I am going too fast, please let me know. So now that we found the scale factor, let's see how the perimeter will compare to each other. So this side on the rectangle is 1, 2, 3, 4 units long, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this side is also 4, and this side is also 6. All right, so 6 plus 6 plus 4 plus 4 is 20. Awesome. So the perimeter of the pre-image is 20 units. All right, so this side on the rectangle is 12, and this side is 8. So this side is 12, and this side is 8. Bless you. All right, 40 units. Dang, y'all doing it faster than I can do it in my head. I'm like, wait, how do I get that so fast? All right, so if I do my perimeter ratio, new over old.
It's gonna be 20.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 20.
Good. So my image over my pre-image, 40 over 20 will give me 2, which matches the scale factor. So that's working out so far. The perimeter ratio equals the scale factor. All right, so let's do the area ratio and see if it matches up with what we discovered earlier. So if this is 4 by 6, length times width, what would be the area? Mm-hmm. And the area of this one is 12 by 8, 96. So let's look at the ratio, new over old. So 96 over 24. Sorry, what's 96 over 24? 4. Oh, and how does that relate to the scale factor?
2 times 2.
2 times 2 is 4. So this matches with what we discovered earlier. This is the area ratio is the scale factor squared.
Oh, so we just like find the coordinate
Mm-hmm.
from the prime image and the image,
Mhm.
and then you write it,
Mm-hmm.
and then that gives you K.
Mhm.
K. Then yeah,
And then from the image and the pre-image, and then from the area.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're basically it's just a connection. How do perimeter and area relate to K? That's all we're kind of discovering right now. So this slide says, what was the relationship between perimeter and scale factor? Well, perimeter ratio equals the scale factor. Okay. And how does the relationship between the area and scale factor, or what's the relationship between the area and the scale factor? Perfect. The area ratio is equal to the scale factor squared. Give me 5 minutes. Are you sure? Yeah. Okay. All right, so we're gonna fill in these tables with the information we just got. So if my scale factor is 3, what's my perimeter ratio? 3, because the scale factor and the perimeter ratio should be the same. Well, if my scale factor is 3, what's my area ratio? 9, because 3 squared equals 9. All right, if my scale factor is 1/2, what's my perimeter ratio? 1/2. I'll be impressed if y'all can do this in your head. So then what's the area ratio? It is 0.25. So 1/2 squared is the same thing as 1/4 or 0.25. All right, if my scale factor is 0.8, what's my perimeter ratio? 0.8, they'll be the same thing. And then my area ratio, I don't even know. 0.64. Because 0.8 squared equals 0.64. If my scale factor is 5/3, my perimeter ratio is what? 5/3. And then we know the area ratio is 5/3 squared. So anytime you have a fraction, you just square the top number and the bottom number. So square the numerator and the denominator. So that would be 25/9, whatever that is. Yeah, let me go check Desmos real quick. Give me 5 seconds. Desmos. So 5/3. I gotta put this in parentheses. 5/3 square. Yeah. Oh, that you did? You okay, Juan Carlos? Okay. All right. So does that make sense? Like from what we just learned? Okay. So last one. So if my scale factor is 3 and the perimeter of my pre-image is 10, how would I find the perimeter of my image? Perfect, 3 times 10. Because I know that the ratio between image and pre-image, my image perimeter over my pre-image perimeter should equal the same thing as the scale factor, 3. So 10 times 3 will give me 30. So this would be 30. So if my area is 20, what would I multiply it by to find the area image? I will multiply it by 9 because that is 3, the scale factor squared. So 180. All right, ask me questions if you didn't get it. Zoom people, ask me questions if you didn't get it. So we multiplied it here, we multiplied it by k. Here, we multiplied it by k squared to get the new perimeter and area for the image. Okay, we won't do all of these. We'll just do the second one and then I'll move on to the last slide. So if my scale factor is 1/2, my perimeter of my pre-image is 4.2. How will I find my perimeter image? Good. So 4.2 times 1/2 is 2.1. If the area of my pre-image is 16, how will I find the area image?
No, 0.25. 5.
So I'm gonna multiply it by
4?
4.
Okay.
So I'm gonna multiply it by 1/2 squared, which is 1/4, and that'll be 4. So the last thing that I want to talk about, this is the only star question I've ever seen about this topic. So let's read through it, and then we're done. A preschool has a rectangular field and a rectangular playground that are similar in shape. So you got a rectangular field and a rectangular playground. Okay. Each dimension of the field is 3.2 times the corresponding dimension of the playground. So the playground, let's say this is the playground, this is the field. The field is 3.2 times. So we know that the scale factor is 3.2 because the field is 3.2 times that of the playground. So our scale factor is K. So read through the answer choices, and in your head, try to figure out what you think the answer is. And then people on Zoom, write in the chat. You can chat it to me privately. What do you think the answer is? But make sure you understand why. My suggestion is look at these words right here. So if I know that K equals 3.2, the perimeter ratio should also be what? 3.2. And the area ratio should be what? 3.2 squared, which is
6.4. Right?
10.24. So 3.2 times 3.2 is 10.24. So remember, you do get a calculator. Yeah, you're multiplying 3.2 times 2 is 6.4, but 3.2 squared, 3.2 times 3.2 is 10.24. So which answer is correct? Which one? B, right? Because the area of the field is 10.24 times the area of the playground.
Oh, I think I didn't do a square.
So perimeter, if it said perimeter, both of those numbers, it should say 3.2, not 6.4 or 10.24. Okay? All right, go ahead.